tickets to go and watch fights. Boxing is hot. I'm not sure why, but there comes a time when certain things just happen. There's nothing heavier, nothing better than the heavyweight division. What we're seeing now is this amazing mixture of television companies and people around the world that suddenly have been convinced that boxing is at the top and is sexy business once again. And what that's done is brought about lots of broadcasters from around the world with lots and lots of money. Not necessarily any idea of what they should be spending it on, but certainly what we've seen is the emergence in America of a three-way to the death fight out, a shootout amongst broadcasters to control and dominate professional boxing, in particular the heavyweight division. On the one side, obviously, BBC and Al Heyman. Next, the next gorilla in the room, if you like, is ESPN with their Disney money. And then DAZN. Obviously, the new streaming service is making waves around the world. In any business, you need supply and demand. We have the demand. The European market is still expressing itself in big terms, and it's led, of course, by our colleagues at Sky Sports who have been market leaders for years and years and years in boxing. A few people come, a few people try. No one has the sustainability or the resource to outcompete with Sky Television, nor can they outcompete with Matchroom Sport. We're a different type of company. We're long-term players and we believe in the development of fighters. And that takes time. It's an interesting time with so many of the big-name stars retiring. It's time to go for Tony Bellew, for James DeGale, for people like this. And they have to be replaced by superstars. And our job is to find them, and the fighter's job is to take that opportunity. We have a table full of people here that are in the process of taking that opportunity. And they're gambling on their own ability in the game's the toughest sport in the world. So what we see today are two great heavyweight fights. Yes, it's Sky Sports pay-per-view, as always. And if we didn't have pay-per-view, quite frankly, we wouldn't have boxing at the level in this country, because we wouldn't be able to compete with the financial terms that are available elsewhere. We are lucky people. The fighters have got to take their opportunity, but they've got to give the public what they want to see, which is competitive matches. They want to see excitement. The days of the casual fan have replaced the days of the traditional fan. If you look around the crowd, you see an entirely different demographic now. And that's because boxing's been elevated beyond just the small hall shows. So today, I'm absolutely delighted to be part of this conference, to welcome you here, to understand and view the complexities of the heavyweight division and the opportunities that are opening up, which are life-changing opportunities for fighters. The main event, of course, it's a classic. And the reason I say it's a classic, because I'm warming to Dillian Whyte. I'm not sure I liked him so much when he first started. You know, a big, tough kid, South London, street, all the things that, you know, come natural to me. But what I like about him is his independence and the way he manages himself, the way he carries himself. Mickey Duff once said to me, in boxing, if you want loyalty, buy a dog. And that's generally true, to be perfectly honest with you. Because it's a short-term career and you've got to maximise. And sometimes you've got to have a certain level of belief that takes you beyond normal humans, because you have to back yourself in this game. Dillian Whyte has backed himself from day one of his professional career. He has believed in himself, and he wasn't a great fighter. He weren't a great fighter when he fought Anthony Joshua. He had a fantastic heart, great balls, good punch, but he was still way behind technically where he had to be. But he took his opportunity because he backed himself, and he rocked AJ, as you know, in that fight, and gave him one of his toughest, if not his toughest, fight to date. But then he's gone on from there, and he's gone on the principle of backing himself. So he's taken smaller money for the right fight. He wants to put himself in a position. He's gone 10 fights undefeated now since the AJ fight. And technically, with the camp he's got round him, he's looking better and better and better. So what does he do now? He's at this stage. I think he's been very badly treated by the WBC. I mean, Brazil should never have been the mandatory for Deontay Wilder. He's been smashed to bits in AJ whenever he wanted. And suddenly, Dillian Whyte is overlooked by the WBC. And still, we're still campaigning with the WBC for his position to be clarified for where his career goes next. And bear this in mind that Matchroom Sport have a fight-by-fight arrangement with Dillian Whyte. Isn't that weird? Why do we have... He's not tied up like the slave contract of yesteryear. When I was running boxing, it was much easier. We were slave traders. We had these guys and they were working for us and we was the boss. The pendulum has swung. Now I have to say, Mr. Dillian Whyte. I have to be respectful. And it's really a nice position to be in because we can be honest with each other. Dillian, you're not under a long-term contract, but we like you. And Dillian's had tremendous offers from around the world, but he's backed himself. He's going to be a major player in his mind for some time to come. We will continue to represent and fight his case with the WBC because really, I don't think he's had a fair crack at the whip with those guys. And I've known the WBC for 40 years, and they are sometimes movable. So we're on the case and we're going to try and move him. So what does Dillian Whyte do before he's waiting for his position to be clarified? Son of a bitch takes a tough fight. This doesn't happen in boxing, does it? All these people in boxing, they talk about tough fights, how they're not scared of anyone, they'll fight anyone. But the reality is money talks. So Tyson Fury is the best gypsy boxer in the world, isn't he? The king of the gypsies. He'll fight any man whatsoever. His next opponent's ranked number 93 with BoxRec. Congratulations. Make of it what you want. But let's have no bullshit, shall we? We're in the money business. And we're here to make a lot of money for the fighters because they're the ones that are entertaining us and putting it all on the line. And so Dillian Whyte's team choose Oscar Rivas. He's 26-0, undefeated Colombian. The guy can punch. The guy hasn't been in yet with a top class heavyweight. But you know what? When you're undefeated, that don't matter because you don't know what he's capable of because we've never seen it. We're not fighting someone like Deontay Brazil. Sorry, we're not fighting someone like Brazil who has shown that he can get sparked. We can judge that. We cannot judge Oscar Rivas. Other than I will say, he looks $1 million. He's got to be able to fight looking like that. I thought this was a heavyweight Eubank. He's got the shoes, he's got the kettle, he's got the jacket. This geezer's got to be able to fight. He's got a record of 26-0. Well, there's 26 people know he can fight, and we're going to find out on July the 20th whether Dillian Whyte is the 27th. And that's what brings the crowd, that's what brings the pay-per-view numbers. And credit to the man on my right that says, I'm in a strong position. He'd be entitled to sit on his arse for 60 days and find out what he's doing without risking anything. What's he doing? He's training, he's boxing, he's improving. Respect. As I say, I'm warming to him. I think he's quite a nice lad underneath that physical exterior of sheer power, venom, punching ability. And if that's not enough, and this is not my card, because, you know, listen, talk to me about darts and snooker. I'll give you a proper... What do I know about boxing? I've only been in it for 40 years, and I've got a son who's 10 times better than me at doing this sort of thing. And I was so happy thinking I'm coming to a press conference to see you guys for one more charade, one more hooray. Frank Sinatra makes another comeback, and then Eddie throws the little Diamante tablet into my life and says... The Cylinder. There's another little fight you can talk about. The Cinderella Man. Dave Allen against everyone's favourite Scouser. Big David Price. And if this main event didn't whet your appetite, the Chiefs of Paul is a bloody perler. Who knows what's going to happen? If you want 50-50, I'll show you 50-50. You got a kid on the right that's only just finding out what boxing's about, but he's as brave as a lion because he's been in with Ortez, he's been in with Dillian Whyte when he didn't really know how to do up his shoelaces. He didn't care because he just had this feeling he likes to fight. He likes other things as well. But most of those he's stopped now because he's training properly. I saw him on the other Saturday. He looked good. And where did that body shot come from that took out Lucas Brown? I mean, that was sweet. I could have thrown my dinner up if I'd have thought of being hit like that. And that's after getting picked off by 2 rounds with the other geezer thinking I've got an easy one. He didn't know what the White Rhino was all about. And as for Pricey, the complete contrast to Dave Allen, because he's got amateur experience, he's got pedigree, he's got class, he's got quality, and the geezer can properly bang. But he's got that vulnerability because we don't know when he's going to run out of juice. We don't know I don't know what David Price is going to come in the ring. If he comes in super confident, if he comes in realising that he's a level above Dave Allen technically, we could have a classic on our hands here. I don't care who wins that fight. And the reason is because I like both of them. And whoever does win it deserves it. And look where they're going to put themselves in. What position are they going to? They're going to suddenly fast-track themselves into the top 10 in all the governing bodies. They're going to try and jump on this gravy train that people like Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they've created this amazing bubble of money. And you may never see this amount of money in the heavyweight division again. Because you've got 3 massive customers, plus you've got your Sky Sports and your other broadcasters around the world throwing millions of dollars into the hat. And the one thing I know about these 4 guys is they want the dollars. And they're going to put it on the line. And that can only be good news for us as fans of this great sport, the toughest sport in the world, the loneliest place in the world where there are no excuses. So, for me, I want to just say it's a pleasure to see you all here. I'm absolutely loving the fact that this is July the 20th live on Sky Sports and, of course, the Zone around the world. I think we're in for a treat. There's always going to be these little tiny people out there knocking boxers and boxing, whether it should it be legal? Is this a mismatch? Is this a pay-per-view show? Have I got to pay for it? Let me tell you the answer is you got to pay for it. You want to see quality and you want to see it on these shores, these kids have got to be paid. If you don't like it, do me one favour. Don't watch. There's no one coming round your house telling you you've got to spend $19.99. But those that know boxing and know boxers realise this is super value for money because it's a uniqueness in sport that just doesn't happen again. We've got to understand and we've got to appreciate and we've got to thank God that we're not the ones taking those little 5 steps journey into the 4-cornered ring. Because in all honesty, would you want to be in with any of this lot? Without a lump of wood? No. So, I'm going to hand you over to Frank. I'd love to hand you over to Frank, but he's not there. But I got a Smithy man. I got the top dog from Sky Sports, who knows far more than me about these fighters, and he's going to be doing the easy bit of asking the questions. Over to you, young man.
Can I just say, you enjoyed that, didn't you? You're back.
I was never away. I was just quietly sitting at home waiting for the phone call.
I wonder if Eddie's watching over in Las Vegas. Well done, Barry. That was fantastic and sets the scene beautifully for a wonderful night on July the 20th, Sky Sports box office, and it will be another summer sizzler. We had one last year with Dillian Whyte and Joseph Parker, and a fantastic night with Derek Chisora, Carlos Takam. It was top to bottom, a super show, and I think this one is going to get all of us excited through the summer months, and the build-up will be fantastic. And as Barry said, said, to add the David Allen and David Price fight to it is a terrific, wonderful bonus. Let's start with the big man, Dillian Whyte. I'm absolutely delighted that he is going to be on Sky Sports box office again. We've had a fantastic journey with Dillian. You know, before the Anthony Joshua fight, the whole build-up to that, the way he took to the ring and learnt that night, even when he was injured. He's come back, he's put a terrific team together, and each time he steps in the ring, for me, he gets better and better, and he deserves his place right at the very top now. He will get his opportunity to fight for a world title, but in true Dillian Whyte fashion, he's taken on one of the most dangerous assignments, I think, of his whole career. So, Dillian, the first question is why? Why take Oscar Rivas? You didn't need to, and you are.
Because I'm all about entertaining the fans, and I'm still learning, I'm still improving. So what's the point sitting around and fighting someone that I know there's an 80% chance I'm going to knock out in a few rounds? You know, I might as well have a fight that's going to test me and push me, and, you know, a fight I'm going to have to show levels and improve and give me inspiration to work hard in training camp and to work and stuff and to better what I did December 22nd.
You've studied him, obviously you've looked at him, he's unbeaten, he was a good amateur. How do you go about this job? Because it is really tough, isn't it? It looks like it is to us. You know,
he's a good amateur, he's well schooled, he boxes well, he's strong, he's fit and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I do what I do best, I adapt. You know, that's one thing I do good at. I never had a long amateur career which I developed that set style. You know, where I'm a boxer, I'm a fighter, you know, my style's quite flexible, it's a bit unorthodox, you know. One of my great strengths is adapting to whatever's in front of me. You know, I've fought Joshua, I fought Parker, I fought Cesaro, Lanius, so many different styles. And the main thing that I have is I adapt to my situation, and this is another one where I just adapt and get the job done.
As Barry was saying, you know, you've done it yourself. You've fought the system in many ways. You've got into this position. You must be disappointed you're not sharing a ring yet with Deontay Wilder or with Anthony Joshua again. You had that opportunity earlier in the year. It didn't quite work out. How tough have these weeks been, sort of working out what your next move is?
It's tough, you know, but I got a good team, you know. Obviously, I got my team behind me. I got Matchroom, Sky Sports behind me, and the fans as well. The fans is fighting the course as well, and, you know, and I'm constantly tweeting and messaging every day, you know, and giving the WBC stick for obviously the mistreatment. But that's neither here a day, you know. I want to stay busy, I want to stay active. Like Barry said, I could sit at home and wait and just keep training, but that's not what I'm about. I want to keep entertaining and keep fighting. I don't want to be involved in no more Bretman like fighting to be involved in proper fights, whether it's a title or not. And it's good to be in a position because of Sky Sports and obviously the work I've done in and outside the ring as well, to be able to have these big fights without a real title on the line.
And that's what Barry was saying, that you take on these dangerous jobs even when you don't have to. You could have fought anybody, really, and had a sort of ticking over fight until the World Championship title fight came about. But you're taking on this guy because you want to prove yourself.
Well, it's not about proving myself. I believe in myself already. You know, I mean, I don't need to prove myself, but I want to challenge myself. The difference is a big difference. I want to challenge myself, you know, and just give me a little edge to work hard and to just once again just go in there and show what I'm capable of, you know. And it's things I'm still learning. I'm fighting at a high level, but I'm still learning. Still so much things to work on and improve on, and that's why you can see the small improvement every fight, you know. And there's still so much more to come.
You had that thrilling knockout win over Derek Chisora just before Christmas. Tough fight and an incredible ending. How do you think it ends on July the 20th? Do you think you're going to give us another big knockout? We saw Lucas Brown unable to get up as well last year. That power is there now, and you're injury free. You're fit and well, aren't you?
Yeah. You know, everyone I fought has either been hurt, knocked down, or knocked out. You know, and nothing changes on July 22nd, July 20th. Obviously, Oscar Rivas is going to come to fight. He's going to press the fight. He's going to. But, you know, I'm looking to knock him out.
And you believe you will become a world champion either this year or early next year?
You know, I don't know, man. I don't know.
If you get the chance?
Yeah, if I get the chance, then yeah, for 100%. But I don't know. You know, I don't know.
It's Oscar Rivas for now. Mark Tibbs, you're the man who's got to work out the tactics. He's a very, very good fighter, isn't he? What did you think when the team said Oscar Rivas to you?
Well, I had a look at him, you know, like I always do. Had a look at his amateur pedigree, and he beat some good fighters in the amateurs. Looked at his professional fights, obviously. You know, you talk about he's dangerous, and he is dangerous, and this fight is it's a TV fight because of the clash of styles. But because Dillian Whyte is getting more articulate in his fighting aspect, he's going to make a difficult looking task. He's going to make him shine. He's going to make him shine. Oscar Rivas is going to make Dillian Whyte shine. And I feel, you know, we know how to handle Oscar Rivas, for sure.
Have you been really impressed since you've had Dillian of the way he's progressed, the way he's got better and he's dealing with each opponent that you guys are putting in front of him?
Yeah, of course I am. I mean, his work ethic is probably one of the best, you know, I've ever seen. You know, I've been around watching even other fighters. You know, Billy Joe Saunders had a very good work ethic, unbelievable. But this guy, you know, is the same. You know, whatever you asked him to do, he does, and he believes in everything you put in front of him, tactical wise. You know. So yeah, but no, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. But once we get behind the stiff jab, we'll settle him down, and then we'll put them together.
We think it's going to be a very good and a very tough fight. Let's bring in the Rivas team from Colombia, originally based in Canada, and one of their top men, Yvonne Michel. Yvonne, over to you. Just tell us a little bit about why you're taking this fight for Oscar at this moment in his career.
Because it was the best timing. It was Oscar, who had a great amateur career, went to the Olympic game, he was a silver medalist in the Pan Am game. He's a super athlete. He's a real athlete. You can check on the track. I've never seen a fighter as fast on the 50-yard meter, or 50-yard dash, I mean. So he has... His career has been slowed down a little bit because of injuries. And when he was ready 3 years ago, we were with PBC, and we had the opportunity, and finally there was some setback, but we got the call to fight Brian Jennings, and it was the call that we were waiting for. And Oscar prepared for the best fight, and he really performed the best of his career. And right after, especially when the ESPN signed Tyson Fury, we were told that we might got the task to be the opponent of Tyson Fury. And then we learned that Fury didn't want to fight Oscar Rivas because of his size. He said that it was not good for him because he wanted to get ready for a taller opponent. And so we were working on having a stable fight, and we were offered Michael Hunter, Andy Ruiz, Joe Parker, so for stable fights. And we said yes to all offer we got, and finally it was turned down by the opponent, and I got a call from Eddie. By the way, I've been to a lot of Eddie Hearn press conferences, but I realized that he's not as good as his father yet.
Can you say that again? Just in case Fast Car missed it. Did you hear what he said then? I've been telling you that for years.
I'm very, very impressed. So it was when Eddie called me, it was exactly what we were looking for, fighting one of the top 4 fighters in the world. This is what we consider Dillian Whyte, one of the top 4, the best without the title, but Oscar will be ready, and I'm telling you, he has also the biggest task amongst all the champions by fighting Oscar Rivas. I know some of the fans here were disappointed when it was announced that it was Oscar. Only for one thing, is because you don't really know him. only that thing. In America, most of the reporters, if it's not unanimous, all reporters or fans are very excited about that fight. They all believe it's a very well-matched fight, probably the best fight that will be in the heavyweight division this year at that level.
Before I bring Oscar in, Yvonne, just tell everybody who doesn't know much about him, who hasn't studied him like you have, how good he is and how far you believe he can go in this heavyweight division.
Oscar fought in the amateur. He went in the Olympic game. He beat Kubrat Pulev, and he lost a close decision against Roberto Camilleri, who got the gold medal after. He beat in the amateur Andy Ruiz. He fought Gladzov. He fought a lot of fighters that had their chance already in the World Championship fight, and Oscar didn't have yet that opportunity. But he is probably the best athlete in the heavyweight division. He has he always got himself up for the challenge, and I believe he can be world champion. I believe the winner of that fight here on July 20th will have the best shot to become world champion, and I'm convinced Oscar Rivas will still be undefeated.
Yvonne, thank you very much. Let's bring him in. He does look fantastically dressed. It's wonderful, Oscar, to have you in London. You'll be back over for July the 20th. Is this the fight you've been waiting for, the most important one yet on your professional journey?
Sí, esta es una pelea que hace mucho tiempo estaba esperando y ahora se dio esta oportunidad. Tengo que aprovechar al máximo y seguir demostrando por qué estoy aquí, por qué vine hasta acá a mostrarme de cara al mundo.
Right, very much so. It is the fight that I've been working towards and waiting for such a long time. And what I've got to do, now I've got this chance, I've got to make the best possible use of it, make the most of this opportunity. So that's what we're here for now, to show what I can do and demonstrate just what I'm capable of.
You're coming off this excellent win over Bryant Jennings. How much of a step up is Dillian Whyte? How highly do you rate him?
Un escalón más después de la buena victoria contra Jennings.
Bueno, contra Jennings fue una pelea que me preparé muy bien porque quería ganar esa pelea. Con Dillian Whyte, también un boxeador que respeto mucho, un boxeador que lo he venido siguiendo porque en mi carrera tengo que estar preparado para todo. Pero cada quien hace su mejor trabajo en el ring y espero que esta vez no sea la excepción y a seguir trabajando duro para que el 20 de julio dar un buen espectáculo los dos.
So yeah, I prepared really, really well for the Jennings fight, and also I want to put on a very, very good show on the 20th of July. I hope that it's a real excellent spectacle, a real show. I think that Dillian is a boxer that I respect a lot. I've got an awful lot of respect for him. I prepared well for my previous fights. I'm going to come here and prepare really, really well, and I think both of us will be doing our best in what's going to be a close-run affair.
It is a close-run affair. It's a brilliant match, but how do you beat Dillian Whyte and how do you further your career on July the 20th?
Va a ser muy equilibrado, ¿no? Muy igualado el combate, pero cómo preparar y cómo ganarle, cómo combatirle.
Bueno, siempre que tú comienzas a hacer una preparación, te preparas para darlo tú en el ring. Entonces, yo siempre he tenido ese dicho en mi cabeza, que hasta el último suspiro en el ring no se sabe nada. Voy a trabajar duro, voy a dar todo el 100% en esta preparación para así demostrar el 20 de julio que Oscar Rivas y Dillian Whyte son grandes boxeadores y el 20 de julio toca demostrarlo todo. Solamente te puedo decir eso porque en el ring es que todo se puede arreglar.
En el ring está todo, perdón?
Todo se puede arreglar en el ring.
Okay. Basically, we're going to be giving everything that I've got. When I start my preparation, my training for a big fight, I always assume that I'm going to have to work as hard as I possibly can, give everything, and nothing is decided until you've taken your last breath in that ring. I know that I'm going to give absolutely 100% during my preparation and during the fight, and I know that both of us, both Dillian and myself, are going to be very well prepared. It's going to be a fantastic occasion on the 20th of July. Y la última frase que has dicho, perdón, otra vez.
Que hay que dar lo mejor en el ring esa noche.
And nothing is decided until, as I say, the end of the fight. And I know both of us are going to be giving absolutely everything in the ring on that night of the 20th of July.
Thank you very much, guys. It's a fabulous heavyweight fight for 2019, maybe the best. But we've got, as Barry said, a perler of another heavyweight fight. I'm just going to bring Dillian in very quickly because, as Barry said, Dillian runs the show now, and he's always said to me he wants the best on his card. How excited are you about David Allen and David Price?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's a good fight. I'm happy that Dave Allen's getting the chances he's getting. I'm happy, when I fought him, I didn't like the guy, but after fighting him, me and him become good friends, we help each other out in training. I speak to him a lot, but I think now's the time for Dave Allen, and if he's going to go anywhere, then he have to beat David Price. And the other one, David Price is a man I know well, respect it a lot. When I turned pro, I was fighting on David Price's undercard. It was my main events. I know David well. We sparred lots around. David can punch. It's one thing David Price can do. You don't want him to catch you early in a fight because he'll put you to sleep. I think it's a genuine 50-50 fight. And it's a very, very exciting fight. It's one I'm looking forward to. It's just a shame that it's right before mine, and I'll be warming up. I won't be able to watch it.
Well, we'll really enjoy it. Let's bring Dave Allen in. Well, what a performance under Darren Barker's tutelage the other night. Mick Marsden in the corner, as always. He didn't need much inter-round stuff. A couple of good rounds from Lucas Brown, and then what a body shot. Main event, justified. First of all, how good a night and how good a feeling was that at the O2 after everything that's been going on in the last couple of years in your life?
Yeah, it was nice, I guess. Yeah, the first few rounds weren't fantastic. I knew I would get to him at some point in the fight. I guess the first couple of rounds I forgot to make him miss though a little bit. It was hitting me at will really. But I knew the shot would come. The third round, I relaxed. I said at the end of just walking out for the third round, I said, "Don't worry about it. Like, I'm relaxed now." And it took me 40 seconds to take him out. I found the shot. I took him out. It was all right, I guess. Yeah, I was happy with it.
You seemed happy afterwards, and of course just days later you go into a really big fight against David Price, who we all have known for so long and all have respected for so long. As Dillian says, he's a huge puncher, he's got wonderful amateur pedigree, he's got a lot of ambition still. Why take this now?
Well, I look at the Price fight, and I've been after it for years. I wanted it 3 years ago. David Price 3 years ago would have knocked me out. I can see that now. I've matured a lot as a person. Obviously, there's a video out yesterday, me talking about David 3 years ago. I couldn't watch it back because I knew what I was saying. I respect him. I was a fan of Lucas Brown, I guess I still am a fan of David Price when he fights. Before I even laced a pair of gloves, he was already an Olympian. He was already the next big thing on the scene. I've not even had an amateur fight by this point, so I know for what it's a difficult fight. People can say what they want about David Price. But, as boxers, we know how dangerous he is. I know he can punch, I know he can box. He's technically better than me, he's bigger than me, punches harder than me, he's stronger than me, he's faster than me. So on paper, you're thinking, how am I going to beat him? But I will beat him on sheer wanting to win. Now I'm fit, Darren will put the game plan together. I will beat him on sheer determination. That's how I will beat him. I know how it's going to go. I'll just break him down, I believe.
I mean, that's what's attracted you, obviously, to the general public, the fact that you can say all those things, that David's better than me in this department and that department. But there's something that the British public are absolutely loving about you, Dave. Are you now going to give it the discipline and the full attention to your career that you have now the opportunity to do? Is that now 100% your task?
Yeah, I've had an interesting week, but it's my week to enjoy, to do what I want with, and now we're back in the gym. I beat David Price, like you say. I'm up there with the top 15, top 10 in the world, and I got to where I am today by not really doing anything, just naturally just got in there and, Dillian fought Luis Ortiz, Tony Yoka. Natural toughness got me through 27 rounds at the 3. I've not even trained, I've trained more for Dillian than the other 2, but combined probably 5 weeks, combined for the 3 of them. So when I take it seriously, I believe I can be a top 10, 15 man. I'm not saying I'm the greatest fighter in the world, I'm not very big, I don't punch very hard. I'm not the fastest, not the most skillful, but I think on determination alone...
Other than that, you've got it all, really, haven't you?
On determination alone and wanting to win, I think I'm a very hard man to beat, and this is a fight I'm very excited about. It's one I've wanted for years. As a fan of David Price, I look at him today and and I think, wow, it's David Price, because that's how I've always looked at him and other fighters the same way. So yeah, I'm excited. I will train very hard because I'm a little bit scared as well. I don't want to get knocked out.
How refreshingly honest is Dave Allen. David Price, we spoke earlier beforehand. I know how excited you are about fighting Dave Allen. It's the right fight at the right time for the pair of you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was supposed to happen at some point a couple of years ago, and it didn't happen for whatever reason, but I think it's more worthy of happening now at this stage with much more on the line. I think Dave Allen underplays himself a little bit. I think he knows he's better than he's making out, and he is a lot better than he's making out. I was open to get Lucas Brown rather than Dave Allen. I was willing Lucas Brown to win, because for me that was a better fight for me, I thought. But here we are, it's Dave Allen. It's a great fight. He's as tough as they come, better boxer than he's given credit for, and probably gives himself credit for. He's actual favourite in the fight. He's won his last 4 fights, and he's just beat a big name in his last fight. So I've kind of got the underdog tag, which I'm happy to take, because I think I'm due a win when I'm the underdog. Been the underdog twice before. Hopefully it's 3rd time lucky. And I'm just going to try my best to do what people and I think is probably difficult to do, and knock Dave Allen out. He's been stopped on his feet. He's probably one of them fighters who could go through his whole career without getting put on the floor. But that's what I'm going to be looking to do.
What do you think when you hear him say that you're a better puncher, that you're a better boxer, that you're quicker, that all of this, really, I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that that's just his...
I don't know whether he really believes that. You don't do what you've done, Dave, without having something about you, and you've definitely got something about you.
I'm better looking than you, though. I'll tell you about
that. Don't you find me attractive? so yeah, he's definitely got something about him. But look, all will be revealed on the night. That's the beauty of this fight. And Barry Hearn said enough then for anyone to make you one up and go for the run now and start training for the fight. That how much is on the line for it. It's the biggest fight in my career by far. So I need to do everything I can possible to make sure that I get my hand raised on the night and move on to what's around the corner. So I'll just give it everything I've got.
Finally, David, what is around the corner? If you can beat David Allen, how far do you think you can go at this stage in the heavyweight division? Eddie always says you're 1 or 2 fights away from a massive fight.
It's just,
this is pretty big.
Well, yeah, this is big, yeah, and if you'd have told me 18 months ago that this fight was happening at this magnitude, I'd have snapped your arm off for it. So things have gone well for me, despite of having a couple of defeats along the way. What's around the corner? Who knows? And it's a cliche, but I really do take one fight at a time, take one day at a time in life in general. It's a good way to live. So whoever's around the corner, if what Barry's saying is right, it's like it's riches, isn't it? It will be a Cinderella Man story for either one of us,
Thanks very much, Dave and the boys, Oscar and Dillian. Fantastic night ahead, Sky Sports Box Office, July the 20th. But we're going to finish with the main man. Barry, you started so well. Let's conclude better than Eddie.
I just want to concentrate on honesty. You have to be honest with yourself when you're in this game, and the fighters have to be honest with themselves. And I don't think I've, in 40 odd years, have listened to a press conference that I've enjoyed more just for honesty and respect. For a fighter to say, I'm really frightened, I don't want to get knocked out, and for the other guy to say, look, I was going nowhere, this is a massive fight. This should tell you people how important this game is and how life-changing this sport can be. This is the right time to be a boxer. This is definitely the right time to be a heavyweight boxer. A loss for either of these four fighters is not the end of their career, but a win does elevate them to the next level of earning power and life-changing opportunities. So that's what we're playing with. It's a very serious sport, and in a sport that is built largely on dishonesty, today we had honesty. Disrespect wasn't in the room. It was respect for the sport, the fighters they're fighting, and the opportunities they know they're getting for. And I'm proud that we're involved in a sport that's going forward and changing lives and giving these very, very fine people the opportunity they deserve. Make sure you write about the respect that they gave each other, and let's everybody look forward to July the 20th. As we say, at the very best Matchroom shows, and of course there are no poor ones, we'll sell you a ticket. We'll sell you a ticket. We'll sell you a ticket for the show, but guarantee you only need the edge of your seat when you're watching it. Gentlemen, thank you for your attendance, and we'll pass on to one-to-one interviews. Spread the gospel. This is a proper night for proper men. Thank you very much.